Happy Friday Eve day to everybody. One second, I am going to make sure we are actually live in my group where we are supposed to be. You got to love tech. Yep, I see us. Awesome. So excited for this interview today. You guys, happy Friday Eve to everybody. People ask me all the time, how long have I been saying that? Why do I say that? I don't know. I've just always called Thursday Friday Eve. So it makes me excited for the weekend. All right, my friends, you know how I do things around here every single week. We have Facebook and YouTube right here on my laptop. I'm using StreamYard to stream in multiple destinations at the same time. If you're coming to me through YouTube, I want you to smash that subscribe button so you never miss one of my live weekly videos. Today, we are back in our monthly series, one of my favorite kinds of interviews. This is our Entrepreneurial Inspiration interview, where we chat with one of our awesome members of my free Facebook group. If you're not in that group, you need to be. And today, a special treat. You're going to hear from my friend Beverly Smith. She owned a very successful and award-winning brick and mortar business here in Little Rock, where I am. That's how we met. We've known each other for a long time. You're going to hear how she and her husband built that business together, decided to sell it, downsize to have a life on a working farm, and then she recreated this business in the online space. She's not only been through my Business Visibility Made Easy program, but she's also a very active member and part of our Business Visibility Made Easy alumni membership. I'm so excited she's here. But just in case we are brand new to each other and we've never met, I want to introduce myself. I am Tracy Beavers. I am an award-winning business and sales coach with over 20 years of experience in marketing, sales, and business growth. And several years ago, I became finally fed up with corporate and my corporate career, and I hatched a plan to fully exit. And I share that with you because once I was able to fully exit, in my second full year of business as a business coach in the online space, I busted through the six-figure ceiling and I haven't looked back. And it's because I was able to be way more intentional about building my business. If you're building your business alongside your full-time job, wanting to fully exit, or maybe you're already a solopreneur, and you've already ditched that career in the past, I want you to know you can do this. You can build a six-figure business just like I have. I've coached hundreds of entrepreneurs just like you to get visible and grow your email list so you can get that consistent monthly income you really, really want. And if you're thinking you want to hire a coach to guide you and roadmap your priorities, your strategies, what you need to do to get to your next level, DM me or email me. Let's set a free coffee chat and talk about how coaching with me will skyrocket your business growth. All right, my friends, as we go along, Beverly and I want you to pop your questions and comments into the chat for us. We're going to look at those at the end. And if you're coming to us on replay and you have a comment or a question for Beverly or for me, post it and we will swoop in and answer it for you. All right, let me talk about my friend Beverly. She is super freaking impressive, y'all. She is a LinkedIn top voice in job search strategies and the founder of Career Success Strategies, which specializes in helping mid, senior, and executive level professionals with their resumes, LinkedIn branding, and job search strategies so they can land the career of their dreams. How cool is that? And additionally, Beverly uses her knowledge and expertise to help business owners establish themselves and their businesses on LinkedIn through hands-on one-on-one coaching. If you've attended one of my live masterclasses during Business Visibility Made Easy, during the launch of that program, and you've heard me talk about how one of my students took every strategy I teach about Facebook, took it over to LinkedIn, and totally rocked her business, it's Beverly. This is the same Beverly. I brag about her every time we launch the program because she literally took everything, went over to a different platform, and went from having no sales and no list to having people buying her highest ticket offer. So Beverly, welcome in. Is there anything you want to add?
Oh, no, I think you covered it, Tracy. I'm so excited. This is going to be so much fun.
I know. It's always fun with you. And I have to watch the time because you and I are, when we get together, we could like talk forever and it only feels like 5 minutes. And I don't think everybody wants to participate in that today. So, all right, let's get to the good stuff. I want you to tell us about your business. I already kind of said who you are and everything, but tell people who you are, what you do, who you serve, how you serve them.
Sure, sure. So my background is in staffing and recruiting. We, as you mentioned, we had the brick and mortar business for just over 27 years. And so I serve, as you mentioned, mid, senior, and executive level professionals. And so what we do is I have a team of writers and we work with them to help them with their resumes. We help them with their cover letters, with their follow up or thank you letters. We also create a reference template so they can plug their references in. And what's really cool about it is it's all branded. So what that means is if we use certain colors or a bar across the top, it's all going to be the same on each document. So it looks like it goes together, and it's really going to help my clients have a more cohesive appearance. So when they shoot
Yeah.
over that cover letter with their resume, it all
Uh-huh.
looks like it goes together. And then
Nice.
lo and behold, they show up in the interview, they present their sheet of references. It looks
Uh-huh.
like it goes together.
Nice.
And the same thing, they send a follow-up letter, and it just all, so it's, in marketing, it's all about repetition
Yeah.
and having a brand. We also take those same branding strategies over
Mhm.
to LinkedIn, and we will help them create their headline, create their about section. We can, if they want us to do, take their work experience, we can do that for them as well and tell them. So what's maybe different on LinkedIn for the entrepreneurs and the job seeker needs to take advantage of that skills section.
Yes.
And
Right, right,
so
right.
those are like precious keywords for them, and we can help
Mhm.
them select those and all of that. And so
Awesome.
that's part of what we do. And then
Love
finally,
it.
the other thing that we do is we do the coaching through it. So
Mhm.
um, y'all may not realize this, but 70 to 80% of all jobs are not even posted online. And so
Wow.
we teach them how to find those hidden jobs, because it is a
Nice.
common misconception. I mean, you think about the advertising that you get bombarded with,
Yeah.
Monster and
Yeah.
Career Builder and Indeed and all those
Right.
job boards. They just make you think that I can just slap my resume up there and lo and behold, I'm going to get a job, or I can just
Yep.
go apply. And there is such a frustration having been on the other
Mhm.
side.
Yes.
Both sides are extremely frustrated with this process. By the
Mhm.
time it gets to those job boards, it is at its most competitive stage,
Yeah.
because you think about, you and I are queen networkers. That's how we met,
Yes.
was in a
Yes.
networking group.
Right, right, right.
Businesses, companies are typically going to tap into their networks
Mhm.
first.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about
And
who you know. Mhm.
so, yeah. So
Love it.
that is where we come in, and we really help
Love
our
it.
clients learn that process, teach them how to
Yeah.
interview, how to negotiate their salary. So
That's
kind of
awesome.
a
That's
long
awesome.
answer to what I do, but that's what I do.
Yeah, that's okay. And so also though, I wanna talk for a second about a recent, well, maybe it's not that recent, but I just recently heard about it. A recent offer you have for people like me, the online entrepreneur, who Beverly, you know this, LinkedIn's not my jam.
Mhm.
I am present over on it only because I have an awesome assistant named Jill who makes me look good over there. But I've pretty much ignored it because I felt like it was a spam fest. I felt like
Yeah.
all I was getting was cold DMs from people that didn't really wanna network with me. They just wanted to have me buy their offer, and
Mhm.
I got frustrated with it, so I'm
Mhm.
ignoring it. But I heard an interview with you the other day that you did for Carrie Saunders on her podcast, and you knocked my socks off. So, you wanna give just a little tidbit of why we should not ignore LinkedIn and
Absolutely.
that offer that you have about how you can help somebody like us, the online entrepreneur?
Absolutely. So, a couple of things. Um, LinkedIn, your posts live longer, and so the algorithm is a lot better.
Mhm.
There are those strategies that you teach for Facebook and Instagram are like on steroids over there. If
Right.
you will follow some of those things and do that. So
Okay.
that is part of it. But also last fall, LinkedIn made some important changes
Uh-huh.
that at first kind of frustrated some of us, especially if you had the free version,
Uh-huh.
in that when you go to connect with people on LinkedIn,
Uh-huh.
you're limited to 10 direct messages with not 10 connections. You can connect to like up to 200 people a month.
Right.
But what was working was being able to send that direct message with, hey,
Right.
here's how we know each other. Well, there's so many people like you that were getting frustrated with
Yes.
that spam
Hilarious.
factor. And it was a big old spam fest. And it's so annoying. That has cut that out dramatically. And
Awesome.
basically, if those people want to it's now called inboxing you
Uh-huh.
versus the direct message, they have to pay to play. They
Nice.
have to have a
Okay,
paid
good.
version, and I probably still get some of those, and I
Mhm.
know that they're on the paid version, but it's farther and few between. So
Love it.
what I have done is I have taken the things, I've learned from you and some other, LinkedIn, programs that I have invested heavily in,
Uh-huh.
because I started getting other business owners going that I knew, just like friends personally, that probably people that you knew too. They're in a little rock that were going, okay, show me, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Right.
And so I just basically took 3 hours of coaching with me, which is normally 675,
Mhm.
and I have a special discount for anyone that wants to coach with me on this. I will take
Right.
$100 off, so it's 575. We will work specifically on what it is you need,
On
and
LinkedIn.
it's going to be more like, I'm not going to come and do it for you,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
teach you to fish and
Nice.
teach you how to do it.
Love it. So that for online entrepreneurs like me who are ignoring LinkedIn, you guys pay attention. You can hire Beverly to actually show you the ropes of how she went to LinkedIn and knocked it out of the park. I love that. All right,
Mhm.
let's switch gears for a second because all of the marketing I've done for this interview this week has talked about how you sold your business, downsized and bought a farm with like real animals on it. And then you recreated in the online space. So I want to talk for a second what you and your husband ran or you actually, I'm not sure if your husband was, I know he was a partner, but I'm not sure if how active he was in the business, but you guys had an award-winning
Mhm.
business, Career Staffing Solutions here in Little Rock for a long, long time.
Mhm.
What was it that made you want to go, I'm out, I'm done, I'm selling this thing, I'm going to go live on a farm? Walk me
Oh
through that
my
real quick.
goodness. Okay, so my husband burned out several years before I did, and he actually started pursuing some other interests.
Mhm.
And um, we made it through COVID, and I started experiencing that burnout,
Yeah,
and so I was like begging him, come back in, come back in. We can just really get this thing where we need to do, and then by
right,
2024, we can sell it, and we can just walk away and retire and move to the farm.
right.
And we were very blessed to have received the PPP not once but twice.
Uh-huh.
And so that really positioned us well financially.
Nice.
And basically, the second time I came and talked to him about it, he's like, why don't we just close? And I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I just heard it different. The first time I was like, I heard, why don't you quit? And I was like, I
right,
don't quit.
right. I'm not a
But
quitter.
yeah, but the second time I heard it differently. And so when
Yeah,
we started the process of what would closing look like,
yeah.
I was able to leverage my relationship with my back office company,
Mhm.
and we ended up selling our book of business
Nice.
to a local competitor who we
Mhm.
actually had known for several years. And it's kind of a deeper story than that, but that's just kind of on the surface what happened.
Right.
Totally, I am a Christian, and I believe it was just all, it is
Divine
not a
timing.
coincidence. Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
he laid this out for me, and just the fact that I had the eyes to see and the ears to hear
Mhm.
what my husband was asking me to do
Yeah. Nice.
differently. And so, and what happened from there is we had already had this property up here on the
Mhm.
farm, and we had already started making some improvements to it, putting in a new road, building a shop up here. And so we turned to a dear friend of ours there in North Little Rock that's a real estate agent. She ended up selling our house,
Wow.
never listing it, but selling it to her brother-in-law who's wanting to move back. He
Okay, the timing was right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. He
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
close on his house before November, so here we
yeah,
are. We build out this shop, and this is
yeah.
where we're living. We're in this one-room shop right now, and, I mean, I strategically have my walls just also, so you
I love
can't
it.
see the living room and the bedroom, but,
I love
so
it.
here we are here, and
Yeah.
Michael, my husband, was able to fulfill his dream of, um, you know, raising Berkshire pigs, which is a high dollar wagyu of pork.
Yeah.
And we raise chickens. We have a garden. It is
I love
wonderful.
it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So,
So,
that's
okay,
kind of
so
how
you
that
get
happened.
to the farm and it's bliss, which I've got the theme from Green Acres going through my head right now. Um, and so you ditch the city and you move to the farm, and then you get there. First of all, I wanna know what your family said when you said, "Hey, we're ditching this business. We're selling the only house you've ever known growing up in, and we're gonna go live in this one-room shop and raise pigs." And then I want you to tell us when did you decide you were gonna do this online business? When did that kick in?
Okay. So my family was very supportive. I mean, both sides, my husband's side, my side. My kids were extremely supportive. Both of
Yeah,
them worked for me,
yeah,
and they were at a point where they were really frustrated and they were ready to move on. And so it was just all, again, it goes back to that God's timing kind of thing.
yes.
So as soon as, I mean, ink was not, the signatures had not even been done.
Mhm.
I just put it out to the world, "I'm doing this."
Yeah.
I started literally having people approach me saying, "Will
Mm.
you help me with your job?" This is in Ju Okay, so we decided this in June. Literally
Mhm.
2 weeks later, I had people, "Will you help me with my job search? Will you look over my resume? Will you
Nice.
write my resume?" I had someone
Mhm.
say, "I want you to write my ex-wife's resume." And I was like, "What?" Um, and and I mean, it was just, I had a contract position offered to me.
Nice.
Um, so it was just, again, it was confirming that we're
Right,
headed in the right direction. And I really
right,
didn't think more of it than that. But I finally started turning people away and saying, "Look, I'm trying to liquidate stuff. I'm trying to downsize. I'm trying to pack. I
right,
can't do anything else before October."
right.
And October, one of those people calls me up and says, "Okay, I'm
I love
ready.
it.
Are you ready?" And I
I
was
love
like,
it.
"Okay." So I just threw out a price. He
Yeah,
took me up on it. I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna do this. I mean, one and done. We're done."
right.
I had a lot of fun working with him,
Nice.
and I loved the collaboration. He was a high level professional,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Okay, I could get into this."
Mhm.
So the very next month was November, and this is for the people watching this that are online entrepreneurs. This is why you need a list. I had signed up back in 2017 or 2018. I had taken a resume writing course,
Uh-huh.
and one of the bonuses was a whole list of resources. And one of the resources was a resume writing and career coaching association. So
Nice.
I immediately went and signed up for their freebie
Mhm.
5 years earlier,
Yeah.
and into that junk email account. November, I'm scrolling through the junk email account, and they offer a Black Friday sale.
Nice.
I've been on their list for 5 years, people,
Mhm.
5 years. I buy the resume roadmap 6-figure business course. I buy the
Nice.
membership. I buy a certification. I'm all in. I'm just like, "Okay, I guess this is what God wants me to do."
Yeah,
And
the timing was finally right for you to take them up on that offer. Yeah,
and
so I
and
love what you're saying.
I have a slight background in online businesses because I had a side hustle in the health coaching world. So I knew a
Uh-huh.
little bit about it. You and I had connected. I had saved all the stuff that, because you
Mhm.
actually helped us
Yeah.
with my brick and mortar business with some of
Mhm.
our social media strategies. So
Right.
I had bought several of your low ticket courses. And I
Yeah.
had all that. So
Right.
I immediately start going through that stuff, start the process, and reconnected with you, joined your
Mhm.
free Facebook group.
Yep.
That's kind of where I
I
went with
love
all
it.
that.
I love it. So it really evolved over time is what you're
Hmm.
saying. And
Hmm.
y'all, take note of what Beverly said. Let that be a lesson to you about having people on your email list. When the time is right, they will purchase. You
Hmm.
just have to stick it out. You just have to outlast. You
Hmm.
just have to keep going. So, okay, tell me this. Did you have any trepidation when it came to, okay, now I'm going to build this business in the online space? Like, was there anything that ran, like, tell us what went through your mind? Did you have any like doubt? Did you have anything that frustrated the heck out of
Hmm.
you? Because we all have that stuff
Yes.
happen. And I think it's super important for all of us to hear from other people when what happened and how did you handle it?
Okay, so I'm not sure you and I have talked about this before, so it might
Okay.
mind blow you. I'm mildly dyslexic. I'm
No
going to write
way.
resumes. I am
No
going
way.
to write resumes. And I was like, oh, this is like my worst nightmare, having something transposed, having words misspelled. I sent
Right.
out an email the other day to an organization that I'm a part of, and I put the subject line, it's supposed to be herd, as in a herd of animals. I
Uh-huh.
spelled it herd, like I heard you.
Oh no.
This is my nightmare. So
Right.
yes,
Oh my
I
gosh.
didn't. This is why I didn't want to write resumes. I was like, I don't want to do this, but
Okay, that
it
makes
just
sense.
seemed. Um, I kept being pushed into it. So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
big,
Wow.
big thing.
Yeah.
So.
So when you feel that fear and you're like, that is incredible. No, I didn't know you were mildly dyslexic.
Uh-huh.
And for you to have, of course you would have some trepidation, but how did you work through it? And how do you continue to work through it? Like, what is there a process you go through? Do you talk to yourself about it? Do you visualize it? Like, what works for you?
No, you're going to love this answer even more because this
Okay.
is what you teach, girl. So, here's what I did. In addition to working with you, I ended up working with the president of the Resume Association where I bought the
Nice.
courses from.
Right.
And I actually did one-on-one coaching with her. And what I learned from her, so
Mhm.
my small-minded brain thought that I could not hire additional writers until I had all the business I could handle. And
Gotcha.
so I needed to do that. Well, she's like, no, scale that business, scale it, contract that stuff out. You're good at the
Yeah.
marketing. You're good at the face. You're good at the
Yeah.
coaching.
Yes.
Let's put you where you can serve people the best.
Yes.
And so those are some things maybe, I
Mhm.
feel like maybe that you do teach in Business Visibility Made Easy, but
Mhm.
the whole concept of outsourcing what
Yes.
doesn't fit you.
Right.
So I have actually only written the resumes that I wrote that summer that
Yeah.
we moved, and for the guy in October. And ever
Yeah.
since, all the rest of my resumes are written by award-winning, multi-certified writers who
I
are awesome.
love
Yeah.
that. And okay, and okay, this is what goes through the mind of my students and my clients. They're like, I want to delegate that. I don't like doing that, like the tech for me. I don't like the tech. Um, and Jill helps me as my online business manager now. She takes so many things off my plate. But when I first hired her, I was scared
Hmm.
because technically on paper, it didn't look like I could afford it. And
Hmm.
I know that goes through everybody's mind. So did that go through your mind, and did you just have faith that you were gonna scale this and it was gonna come back to you tenfold?
So, a couple of things. So, I'm kind of on that cusp where I would really like to hire someone to help me with the social media. And I'm kind of
Mhm.
going through those same thought processes. For
Yeah.
me, with the writers,
Uh-huh.
literally, this is a direct expense when you look at it. So,
Okay.
when I price my resumes, I price them, and actually, I don't think I think I've done one where it's just a sole resume, but
Uh-huh.
I do packages. So I
Mhm.
price it at a price point where I know I can afford to pay my writer out of
Nice.
that, and then
Mhm.
everything else goes into my business.
Nice.
And so I'm always covered on that end of it, which again, I'm still walking through that hurdle of the other, like we talked about, because it's a little bit more broad. It's not a direct expense. It's
Right.
this would be a nice to have someday. And I
Uh-huh.
don't think my business is um at the level yet. It's going to be. It's
Yes, it
going to
is.
be very soon,
Yep.
but it's not at the level yet. And I have actually I did have someone help me briefly with some social media stuff, and I
Mhm.
actually did a barter with her
Nice.
on that.
Nice.
Is how I worked it. So
Yeah.
just
No, I love that. You
kind of
baked
food for
it
thought.
you baked it into your pricing so that you could outsource that. I think that's
Mhm.
genius, Beverly.
Yeah.
That is genius.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us a particular milestone you've had in your business since you started that you are super proud of, or more than one if you've got more than one.
So I think for me, becoming the LinkedIn top voice on job search
Yeah.
was that's been a really big one. And I'm just on the cusp of becoming top voice in career development.
Nice.
Like I see that happening probably in the next couple of weeks, just depending
Uh-huh.
on how much time I put into it. And that is something I can help someone learn how to do.
Yeah.
One of the one of the cool benefits to it is it does help you with your visibility
Okay.
and it
That's
gets
my
you put
language.
in front of more people on
Nice.
LinkedIn. So
Mhm.
I'm real proud of that. And
Yeah.
hey, it sounds good too. So
It does. It sounds really good and
yeah.
and and good for you. That takes a lot of work.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anything else you're particularly proud of?
Um, goodness, I think just that I took the dare,
Yeah.
I really, Tracy, I really intended when we moved up here, we live not far from Harding University, which is where
Mhm.
Michael and I went to school. And I really
Right.
intended just to go work for the university. I was sick of managing a business. I just wanted to go to work and come home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I now see that if anybody is involved in any university, they don't pay well unless you're like, the president.
Mhm. Yeah.
It would not be worth my time to
Mhm.
literally the commute into
Yes. Yeah.
town and
Mhm.
back.
Right.
It would be 50, 55 plus hours away from the farm. And
Yeah.
the money that I was going to make really would not have been worth it.
Right.
So
That makes
I'm
sense.
really proud that I took the plunge.
I
Yeah.
am too, and I have watched your business from the beginning. Like, and that's what I say in my live masterclass is when you and I met and you came into Business Visibility Made Easy, you had 0 clients, 0 list, nobody paying you for anything. And within that 8 weeks together, I think it
Mhm.
was around week 5 or 6,
Mhm.
when we were sharing our wins, you said, "I have somebody that bought my highest ticket offer." And I was like, "Yes, get it, Beverly." That's just that's amazing. I love it.
Uh, yeah, I had a couple of people right around then that did that, and it just was like mind blown. It was like,
Yeah,
oh my goodness. So
yeah.
it was
It
kind of
didn't
one of
shock
those.
me at all, though. I mean, it didn't shock me at all because I know your background and I know how good you are. Let's talk for a second about Business Visibility Made Easy, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
You joined the program last year. You've been in my alumni membership ever since then, and you give so much to everybody in the membership. Why did you join Business Visibility Made Easy? Why did you think it was a fit? And how did it
Well,
impact you?
well, I think for me, I've had the privilege of being on the sidelines watching you from your business from zero to nothing. So,
Yep.
um, I knew what you had built, and also having been in the online space before,
Yeah.
I knew what challenges that I faced, and so
Mhm.
I chose working with you made just so much sense to me because
Thank you.
I knew that I would have that personal attention, and not because you would like favor me over anyone else. I've watched you too in your free group and how much you were giving, and did the one-on-one call with you to talk about
Mhm.
it, and I knew kind of what I was getting into just
Yeah.
from what you had done in the past with your
Mhm.
previous groups. And so I was like, I think this is exactly where I need to be at this time. I mean, I was just enough into it, and my other coach was helping me more specifically with the resume business. And while she has a lot of that online background,
Mhm.
it just made more sense for me to work with someone that was in the weeds, that was keeping up with the trends, and then saving my time working with her for more
Right.
specifics in this industry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's really
that
smart.
really played into it a lot. And then it was
Yeah.
just, um, I've been in group coaching programs before,
Mhm.
and I will tell you, I think it's probably a common misconception as maybe group is like the not top tier, and you're not going to get quite as much out of it. But I will tell
Yep.
you, every time I've been in a group coaching program, it's been knock my socks off because of the
Nice.
relationship you build with the rest of the people
Mhm.
and what you learn from their questions.
Yes.
And you just kind of have to trust the process that you're going to hear what you need to hear when you hear it.
Yeah, yeah. I think we have a caliber of entrepreneur that joins Business Visibility Made Easy that sets that program apart. I mean,
Hmm.
yes, I'm the coach, I'm the lead and all of that, but the quality and caliber of the entrepreneurs that join this program, it blows my mind. And so I
Hmm.
love that you shared that because there are some group programs that for me have been like wah wah, but this one,
Hmm. Hmm.
just because I built it, I know it sounds like I'm, but I feel like it's different. So thank you. I appreciate
Well, and I think too, you have really defined who your ideal client is.
that.
And
Mhm.
so you are attracting in that person,
Yeah,
and that really speaks to what you're doing
thanks.
there. And I think that's a good lesson for the rest of us because, I mean, you and I were both in a network marketing company at one time whose famous thing was, my product is great for anybody with skin.
Right.
And you're like,
Right,
but
right,
not everybody with skin wants my product.
right. I
And
know.
I mean, I remember the first time I went to a BNI group when I was part of that network marketing, and I said that. And I mean,
Me too.
everybody just kind of looked at me like I had two heads,
I know. Boy, that was some
They
bad
laughed.
advice.
It was funny.
Yeah.
It was funny, but nobody in that group, and they all had skin, but
Right.
nobody in that group wanted to know what I had to say.
I know, I know. I cringe when I think about those days of, when you market to everyone, you market to no one. And I was used to marketing and business development at a corporate level. I wasn't, so that, yeah, no, I'm totally with you. That's so funny. Okay, I want you to tell everybody again, because my audience is online entrepreneurs, and I know we piqued their interest when we talked about how you can help them rock LinkedIn for their
Mhm.
business. And I think visiting with Beverly, you guys, will help you change your mind about LinkedIn, the platform, the benefits of it, that your ideal clients are probably there. And so tell everybody again about that offer. And I know Jill's got a link for them to take advantage of that.
Sure, sure. So, yeah, it is one-to-one coaching with me. We will do 3 hours of one-to-one coaching. We will start with where you are now and the things that you need to do to get your profile ready. We will talk about how to grow your network. Basically the things that you need to increase your visibility on the platform. And I realize too that each of you might be at different stages too
Yes.
with that.
Mhm.
So I'll just take you where you are
Uh-huh.
and help you build from there.
I love it.
And I would really highly recommend, and I don't know if Jill can throw this into the chat, but like that podcast I did with Carrie
Yes.
Saunders
Yes.
really will give you an idea of why
Mhm.
LinkedIn, and whether
Mhm.
you work with me or whether or not. I mean, it doesn't make me any difference, but if you want me to help you, I am
Mhm.
more than happy. Obviously, for me, I've been on the platform for a long time because of the
Yes.
type of business. But
Right.
as I told Carrie in that podcast, it it is, I mean, your ideal clients are there. Tracy, yours are
Mhm.
there. I
I
know
know.
that they're there.
I listened to that
And
episode and I was like, "Oh, I need to
yeah,
change my tune." And
yeah.
Jill, by the way, Jill, that link to that episode I sent that to you to save in our content so that we could share it. So I know it's in our Trello board. If you can't find it, let me know. And I know Carrie or Beverly could probably shoot it to you as well.
Yeah.
So you guys take advantage of this. I said that Jill had a link for you to connect with Beverly. I lied about that. I think what you need to do is DM Beverly or email her, or just connect with her in this free group. She's a proud member here. And seriously, if you want to talk about getting strong on LinkedIn, Facebook is my jam. LinkedIn is not. And so you really had my wheels turning with that podcast episode about ideas that I had. And we may be taking you up on that offer, Jill and I. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think, I want to just add to that is you talked me off the ledge last summer when I was freaking out about all this content I had to create. And I will say, if you are starting out as an entrepreneur, you're going to have to create a lot of content starting out, but you will get to the point where you can recycle it. But I remember I had, as a result of you gave all of us who were in Business Visibility Made Easy, you gave us all a coaching call, and our coaching call together, you taught me off the ledge and you were like, hey, just take your content and recycle it a couple of weeks later on Facebook and Instagram, and don't worry about those platforms.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice back to you, which is kind of what you're doing. You already have started that.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be a whole lot to tweak you into what you need to do there. And yes, I would love to help you there.
Yeah.
There are things that you need to be doing with your profile, with your about section that speak differently. And so, you need to, it's a great billboard. It's just a great place. The other thing I love about the platform, y'all, is just that there's not a lot of drama going on over there. I'm sure you can find it if you want to.
Amen for that.
And people come to this platform to learn. So you can teach over there and people are getting a sample of you.
I love it. We do have some questions. Hold on one second. Valerie asked, this is a great question. What is the difference between followers and connections on LinkedIn?
Sure. So people can connect with you or they can follow you.
Okay.
If they connect with you, they're also following you. But there's reasons why you may choose not to not to connect with someone. So for example, and we can talk more about this, and I know I covered this in Carrie's podcast,
right?
But people that aren't your ideal client, you really don't connect with everybody first off in real life. But then after that, start strategically connecting and connect only with those people that are either your ideal client or they overlap. So I know Valerie personally, and I know that our ideal client overlaps. She and I are a good connection for each other because we're going to be speaking similar language. So if I didn't, you, for example, if I didn't know you in real life, I'd probably just follow you.
Got it.
Because our ideal clients are not the same.
Right.
So that's kind of where I would say the difference is, or how the difference should be viewed.
Got it. Okay. Leslie has a great question. I know we're almost at time, but let me get this question answered for Leslie. She says, I'm a small business financial educator for entrepreneurs around the topics of financial organization, budgeting, and bookkeeping. Let's see, is LinkedIn a good place for me to be? I've only just started posting on there. What do you think, Beverly?
Absolutely. I took a lead gen class over there, and there is so many people over there that are growing their brand. And if you're trying to attract other small businesses and entrepreneurs, yes, they are there. I love it. Definitely. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was Leslie Roth, by the way, who's in my group. So you can connect with her, maybe have a coffee chat, talk about it a little bit more.
Let's do it, Leslie.
Yeah, I love it. And Carrie Saunders is watching. She popped the podcast episode into the chat for everybody
Hey,
there, so they can listen to that too.
Carrie.
Oh my gosh, Beverly, this has been so great. I thank you so much. And you guys, if you have more questions about LinkedIn, connect with Beverly. If you can't tell, she's one of the nicest people you're ever going to meet. And she really has a heart for people and wants to serve. If it leads to business, she and I have the same philosophy. We serve, and if it leads to business, that's great. If it doesn't, that's okay, because it always comes back to us in some form or
Mhm,
fashion. And I'm just so proud of how she has skyrocketed her visibility. We've been talking about how she's been rocking LinkedIn. And she talked about how, in the beginning, entrepreneurs, you're going to have to create a lot of content. And you are. I mean, we just have to kind of suck it up, buttercup, and do it. There are some methods I have to teach you that will make it easier. But she took my exercise and she
mhm.
has been very consistent with her content. She is so visible over there that every time I open up LinkedIn, there's Beverly's stuff. It cracks me up every single time. But I know that creating social media content can feel enormous, especially enough to stay consistent. So, this is what I want you guys to do. I want you to go to tracybeavers.com/social. I want you to grab that free short training. In less than 30 minutes, I'm going to show you how you can map out 90 days of social media content topics. And you are going to be able to create content and be off to the races on your favorite platform. And dare I say, as consistent and visible as Beverly is. So anything else you want to share, Beverly, before we go?
Yeah. So certainly I would add to, I made a commitment to be visible 5 to 7 days,
Uh-huh.
but that doesn't matter. I would just say if you pick
Yeah.
2 to 3, just
Yeah.
be consistent and
Mhm.
know who you're trying to target.
Yeah.
And there are still strategies. So even if LinkedIn's still not going to be your main game,
Mhm.
it can be a good place for you to be. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
Aw,
happy to help. So,
I know you are. I love that. Okay, my friends, be here live with me every Thursday at 11:30 Central. Put it on your Google Calendar, set a phone alarm. Every week, you're going to hear from either me by myself teaching you on a topic that you need to hear about, or you're going to hear an entrepreneurial inspiration interview like this one with Beverly today, or possibly from a guest expert teaching on a topic that I don't know. In fact, we need to have you back just to teach us about LinkedIn. I think I asked Jill to arrange that with you, but maybe I just thought about it and didn't ask her to do it. But Jill, definitely get with Beverly and have her come back and teach us um, about LinkedIn and the ins and outs of it and a little bit more in depth. My friends, you hear me say this every single week. Don't go it alone. Being an entrepreneur is freaking hard. Beverly and I have talked about that today. Some days you are the bee's knees and everybody wants to buy what you're selling, and other days it's crickets and nobody can remember your name. And I want you to know you are not alone having that roller coaster, feeling those thoughts. And that's why it is so important for you to get into community, a community of entrepreneurs that get you, that are building the same thing. Join us and Be a Confident Entrepreneur, my free Facebook group. Be a Confident Entrepreneur, get visible, grow your email list and your income. I want you guys to have a great balance of the week and weekend. And remember, when one of us rises, we all rise. So that is why we have got to keep cheering each other on. Thank y'all so much for being here. Beverly, thank you again.
thank you, Tracy.